someone or something got you excited, son?
No, sir!
You're lying to me. I saw you looking over at your pretty boy recruit over here getting turned on.
Yes, sir! No, sir!
Oh boy, it has been an absolutely productive day from the people over at Gaijin Entertainment, because they have been pumping out information about their latest patch left and right. So let's just get lost into all of this beautiful sauce. So the first major thing besides the adventure mode is that they've actually showed off a silhouette of their brand new Mecha Wheels. Oh, these things look amazing. So essentially, what you see right in front of you are the wheeled version of the M200 legs that you get from the Steppenwolf factions. Now, the big thing to note about these legs is that these legs will likely be less durable and do less tonnage than the Steppenwolf legs, but are indeed faster and probably still have that perk regarding the shock absorption. And it also looks like it might be a part of the Dawn Children because they're using an aura plus a photon cabin here, so that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And another kind of interesting thing to note about it is that these legs are not perpendicular to the body. They're actually coming off at an angle diagonal to the cabin. So I'm kind of curious if these legs can either be mounted forwards and frontwards, or if they're just kind of like mounted off on a diagonal. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that turns out. That's going to be a very interesting thing to build with. It's going to give you a lot of protection, much more than at least in the Steppenwolf legs. So we'll see how that turns out. But it also shows you a brand new pack here with the Frostburn cabin again. So if you don't know, last year they had the Frostburn cabin with red paint that had 2 tacklers plus the wheels, as you can see. But it looks like now they've revamped it. They added in a nice pearlescent paint with what appears to be turquoise and purple, which looks mighty nice. Not to mention they have these nice spinning hubcaps down here for both the APC wheels and the twin wheels. It'll actually be kind of interesting to see if that goes for all wheels or if it's just these two, but we'll have to see about that. And they also, as you can see up top, added 2 unguided rocket launchers. So these essentially would be the upgraded version of the Wasp in the Lunatic faction. And if I remember correctly, the leak from it showed that the perk for it had an explosion radius increase. So I'm not sure if it's going to work similar to like the Whirlwind or the Pulsar, in the sense that does it increase damage, or to just make it actually affect a larger area. But that'll be interesting to see. These are likely going to be incredibly expensive guns, not to mention that the whole pack is probably going to be uber expensive. At least alone just for those hubcaps and paints, it's going to look mighty swanky. But that's just that. But then they also showed off a nice little coupler here. Yes, it's a beautiful looking thing. It actually looks like it fully articulates, so you'll actually be able to make a realistic looking truck now. Instead of having the truck be one giant cohesive whole, you can now have it be 2 separate pieces. So that'll be interesting to see. However, I wouldn't get your hopes up. You're not likely going to see this year, because according to Woody Rojo on the forums, this new coupler part is only going to be available during the mission, and it's only going to be operated by the AI vehicle. So we won't get around to mess with this. So that's unfortunate, but they're probably still working on it. But it's nice that they're actually putting it in the game somewhat, so people have something to look forward to. That'll be really, really interesting to see how that turns out. Also, they also released some more details about their PTS and the brand new Year's event. So, of course, they have the Snowstorm map as always. It'll take place on the Dead Highway. It's a festive race in which your objective is to protect the truck as you go from A to B. But it also looks like they'll have secondary tasks in which, if you complete them, it actually makes the trucks stronger or gives it a temporary bonus. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And of course, you also have the 1 to 1000 ranking. So those who are actually really high up can get a brand new duck and a snow globe, or a snow cannon. So I actually want to see what that snow cannon looks to be. I'm guessing it's going to be a CK skin of some sort, maybe, or it's just going to be a decoration. And there's also going to be unique backgrounds and emblems if you earn high enough, as well as they also have the brand new, or rather the old PvP mission coming back with the stickers, as well as the fact that the new workbench is going to come with this. It's going to have a rotating selection of daily items, I suppose. So these items only last 3 days, according to the person. So that'll be interesting to see. You're going to have to be very timely with a lot of your crafting. I can imagine that right now is going to be the absolute best time to stock your resources, because it's going to get expensive again real quick. They also have a brand new map coming out here, the Nukograd, I believe. It's kind of like a Chernobyl-esque map with geysers out in the middle, so that'll be interesting to see how that comes out here. Not to mention that they also have the visitors and test drive. So if you actually test drive your cabin around your area, you actually may have your friend's car come in. I'm not sure if they're going to be actually, how should I say, piloted by your friends or not, but I'm pretty sure your friends come as guests somehow. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but that'll be definitely nice to test out, especially if you're trying to test out something like a, how should I say, maybe if you're trying to test out like a fusion build, that would actually be really helpful instead of going out into like patrol. They also have a huge, oh my god, this is a beautiful change. I've been asking for this for a hot second. So clan battles will get an important improvement. Now clans located in leagues below Diamond will not be able to drop a league below the one in which they are until the end of the current season. If a clan reaches a minimum number of points in its current league, except Diamond, subsequent defeat will not take away rating points. When the start of the next season, all clans will be transferred to the league below. Beautiful! And this is actually something I've been asking for a hot second. So this essentially just eliminates the ability for clans to do deranking on purpose. I believe there's been a rule against deranking for a hot second, but they've now officially just immortalized it in the game itself. Now, the reason why this is important is because deranking was used for the longest time by high-tier clans to go down in ranks, to go down to where people are way easier to kill and just farm uranium. And then at the end of the season, bump up back their rank so they can get their, plus 10 uranium for the weekly win. So that's going to be a huge thing. I know a bunch of people have been talking about this on the forums and Discord about how this is going to be a bad thing. But really, the only people I know who are actually complaining about this were people who were caught deranking, like Tree Burgers, who posted a video of him deranking and then going back up in the ranks. Oh, it was funny watching him complain about that. But let's see, what else did we got here? They also are going to make it so that common parts are now going to be able to be, how should I say, made in bulk. So that'll be quite interesting to see how that turns out. Another point about the game modes I want to make real quickly, just jumping back here. I understand that people who are being carried by their clan will now have to forced to compete at their level because they can't derank and go down below anymore. But to be honest, that's kind of their fault. If you're in a clan in which you are clearly underperforming compared to everyone else, I mean, you can either grow or you have to find a clan more suitable, because otherwise, I don't really want it so that people can just purposefully seal club. That just makes the whole mode, besides pointless, also really unfun for the people getting clubbed. Going back down even further, it looks like the Harpy, Photon, Protector, Bastion, Photon, Arbiter, and Pulsar will now be going to their faction workbenches respectively, so that'll be muy excelente. And they actually are showcasing their old test features in here, such as the Nidhogg changes, the nerf to the Goblin, the buff to the Punisher, which is great because that thing needed a buff for the longest time. The thing was underperforming. They nerfed the durability of Pulsar, which is excelente. That thing needed it. They reduced the Emily's reload by 1 second, which is even better. That thing needed it so badly. The Jewel got a tiny durability increase. We'll see if that actually makes it survivable, but that thing does really well in PvP matches, especially on hover builds, so we'll see how that turns out. Lancelot has now had its damage reduced by 20%, which is great. This thing used to overperform like crazy. I've seen cars of 3000 HP one-shotted by Lancelot, so this will help out nicely. The Chameleon had made it so that the invisibility can now be seen further away if you're driving really fast. And the Goliath tracks had its speed and turning radius nerfed and increased respectively. But this change was reverted back in the new PT forms. So now I believe the Goliath tracks now actually have the exact same speed and turning radius. Their durability has been buffed up and their tonnage has been buffed up. But because of that, their power score has been increased by 300. So if you're using 2 of these bad boys, you're now going to have your power score increased by another 600. So hopefully that'll keep this out from Seal Club in range, so we'll see. They also have some minor tweaks to the Chameleon Modules so that they have varying levels of visibility. They changed the Drubza to the Mauler now, and also changed its perk so that all chainsaws now do 10% more damage, and they also changed this to a chainsaw. I'm assuming that's a new category for melee weapons, so that'll be interesting now. The chainsaw will now actually be somewhat useful, because its old perk was that you got like 25% damage on kill for 10 seconds, which was essentially useless. They also have some new changes coming in. So they have a new sound effect for the Reaper that sounds more badass, as well as that they're also changing the Lupara, Gorilla, Huntsman, small speakers, and large speaker models, so they'll actually be looking a little bit nicer. They also added in 2 new callouts called the Watch Out and Thanks. You'll probably have to rebind this at your own leisure, but that's good. I've had so many instances in which I needed to use the Watch Out or the Thanks, but all I had was the Thumbs Up on G, which always just seemed weird. It's just like, thanks for helping me up. Good, great job. Always seemed weirdly out of place. And they also have the artillery sight, which now you can actually adjust yourself. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. So I believe that is all the changes I know of so far. So let me know what you guys think down below. I'm most excited for these beautiful wheeled mecha legs, but let me know what you guys are most excited about. Leave a comment down below. And if you guys have some more commentary on the brand new changes to the upcoming game modes, by all means leave it down below. We can have a nice little discussion about that. But other than that, I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. If you had fun, follow whatever platform is your favorite. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're also on that Twitter, we're also on that Discord if you want to join the community, as well as get notified whenever I go live. Other than that, guys, I think we'll call it good here. So I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.